Hello everybody and welcome to Backyard Business, and this is our inaugural set. That's the first time we're doing this whole thing.
I feel honored.
AJ Suero, you should be very, very honored that we're doing this. But what we want to do is we want to talk business. That's what the Chamber does. We want to talk people and human and see what touches you, what you feel in this whole interview process. So again, AJ, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me,
Thank you
Tony.
for what you do. I guess that would be the first question. You're so involved in so many things. And why?
Well, I think that it really goes back to the fact that the Lehigh Valley is just such a close-knit community. You know, it's spread out over such a large area, but when it comes down to it, it's really about relationships and people. And once you get to know how, awesome the people of Lehigh Valley are, you just want to get involved. Yeah,
I always say it's I have some people, sometimes they'll ask me, the small business people, what advertising should they do and what mediums. And I don't want to, we have advertisers members, that's important, but it's really a people connector universe here. And you can connect with people, and once you win their trust, you're in.
Absolutely. One of the things that I love about the Valley is the fact that it is about relationships. And it does take time to get to know people. It takes time for people to get to trust, in others. But I think that once you establish that bond, that community with folks, it goes such a long way with building business here.
Yeah, I think one thing we try to do, we say, use a broad-based term, we're as much a chamber of communities as a chamber of commerce. Meaning we want to build commerce, we want people to do business. And Murtaza's here in the background. I see Murtaza over there as a person who has built an amazing business through connections, if you will. But communities are important. And I think in your case, you've devoted a lot of time to the Hispanic community of the Lehigh Valley. It's a growing community. It's an amazing, what people don't know, maybe in the general population that don't get out, how much leadership is in all these varied communities within the Lehigh Valley.
Yeah, there definitely is. And
the people you connect with are from the Hispanic community are absolutely incredible. We work with them all the time.
Well, and one of the things that I've learned from just the time that we've been getting to know folks in the community is that there's been a shift, right, in our community, in that it used to be that Hispanic meant you spoke Spanish.
Yeah.
But nowadays Hispanic really has more to do with how you identify in terms of the food you eat, the places you go. Most of our Hispanics in the Valley actually prefer English over Spanish. Yeah. So it's not really about a language anymore. It really is about a culture. It really is about just having that sense of community, and like we've branded it. It's about being family.
Yeah, you can no longer make the assumption if you, hola, ¿cómo está? In fact, again, a lot of Hispanics, Latinos that are here don't speak Spanish, fluently, if you will.
Not at all. I mean, my kids are what you would consider second, third generation, and neither of them speak Spanish. They understand it perfectly fine when it's time to eat or when it's time to ask for money, but they don't speak Spanish. But for me, it's like they're very much as Hispanic as I am.
So, as a leader, you're the chair of the Chamber's Hispanic Chamber. What's your goal? What's your vision? What do you hope to see happen going forward?
I think that what I'd love to see is for our younger Latino population to get more involved in business, which they are doing. I was at an event last Saturday with a whole bunch of young entrepreneurs, and it just warmed my heart to see that. But I want that to go further beyond than just business, and for them to get involved in political realm, in the community realm, right? We have Allentown, which is 55% Latino.
Yeah.
But when you look at how many of those folks actually vote, the number is very small. And the story is the same around the Lehigh Valley. But it's building that awareness for the community to understand that, you hold the keys to the future. Get involved, be a part of it, participate, and help our community grow.
When you sell that concept or that theory, do you feel that they believe it? I mean, in fairness, if you've been locked out of, if you will, the mainstream political or business or any sense of financial accomplishment, it's hard to believe that what you're selling is the real deal.
It is, and I think that's the resistance that you see from the first generation. Is we've tried this before, we've been down this road, and it doesn't work. But that's why I really try to focus more so on the young up and coming generation. They haven't been as impacted by the history. Mm-hmm. For them, everything is fresh, everything is new. That's why I love the fact that you walk into our urban centers and everything is fresh and new. it's a sense of renewal that you see in the communities. And so with our younger generation, they feel like they're a part of that renewal.
You know, I so agree with that. Even physically, you know, I used to think, having grown up in Allentown, oh, those are the buildings, they're here forever, you should restore them. The reality is that when you clear out a block and put beautiful new things up, it's not a bad thing at all.
Not at all. I mean, I remember I moved here 20 years ago, and at the time, you'd walk down to 7th Street and Hamilton, and all you had there was like a Wachovia on one corner, and there was like a Wendy's on the opposite corner and a Chinese buffet. That was it. You know, you walk down there now, and there are restaurants, there's apartments, there's the PPL Center. You know, it really does have that feel of a mid-sized city. You know, and I think that it's one of those things that for people like me that came from New York, where every weekend I would go to New York for entertainment, now I rarely do so because I can live here, I can work here, and I can entertain here. So there's so many great things.
Recently, it seems like I've had 4 or 5 different instances where someone has said, I want to get it. A lot of business people see this growing Hispanic community. They want to get in. You know, they want a piece of the pie, if you will, of this growing populace. And your name comes up. Go see AJ. A lot of responsibility, or do you embrace that?
I embrace. Well, it is a responsibility.
In which way, when you say that? What do you feel? What do you feel it's on your shoulders?
I think it's important to be an ambassador, an ambassador for the Hispanic community. I think that for some people, the term Hispanic might have a negative connotation just because of past experiences. You know, for some people, you know, they come with a certain belief or certain preconceived notion.
Does that bother you, or is it just a hurdle you feel you have to get over?
It doesn't really bother me. I mean, it's just the reality.
Yeah.
You know, but I think that when you approach people and you have that conversation, and you get down to, you know, why it is that they develop that perception, it allows you to build a relationship, and it's all about building relationships.
Talk about an incredible representation of the Hispanic community. Elia Dino, who's standing right there, who sets all this up. She's an amazing young professional, unbelievable. And I guess that's the biggest thing. I want people to realize there are people of all kinds in this valley now. It's a it's changed tremendously. The demographics have changed tremendously. And if you take the time which I don't know if take the time, I've just been blessed in my job to meet so many people from so many different areas, countries, if you will, backgrounds. It's amazing what the potential is. Yeah,
there's a lot of diversity within our chamber, and to your credit, Tony, I mean, there's a lot of diversity within your own staff, which really allows people to see, you know, the desire of the chamber to really bring everyone in. You know, when you go to an event and you see that the staff is diverse, it makes you feel more welcome. So that's definitely a huge accomplishment.
So before we lose you, tell us about you a little bit. I mean, your life, and it's interesting that you end up here and you grew up in the New York area. So tell me a little about you.
Well, you know, Dominican parents, born in New York City. You know, I always had
a feeling. What did your dad and mom do? Did they both work? Or?
Well, that's interesting. You know, my dad wanted to be a broadcaster. That was his dream. But, you know, he grew up in a time of oppression. First of all, during his lifetime, he experienced a dictatorship in the Dominican Republic.
That's true, yeah.
And then his dad pulled him out of school when he was 5. So he never made it out of grade school. And same with my mom. So their whole dream coming to this country is making sure that their children would have a chance to have an education and pursue their dreams.
What was his message to you about having seen a dictatorship or grown up within it?
Well, I think that a lot of the things that he relayed to me is the importance of becoming involved in civics. You know, to prevent things like that from happening in your own country.
Yeah. And real quick, so you got here. How did this all happen? You end up at PPL, and how did this all happen?
Well, I think a lot of it is the fact that at 39 years of age, I decided to go back to school because I wasn't happy in the career that I was in. You know, and that's a lesson to adults. You know, it's never too late to start over.
Yeah.
I decided to go into the communications field, which is what I always wanted to do. You know, I've worked my way up that ladder, first with the Red Cross, then with PBS, and finally at PPL, where I am now. But one of the things that I'm proudest of is to be an ambassador for the community and to volunteer with the Hispanic Chamber.
Well, I'm really glad you know, this is Chamber of Commerce. I really am. You're really a good guy, a good person. You really try hard to make the community better and lift people up, and I'm glad you're part of it.
Well, I love being a part of it.
Yeah, amen. Sorry, AJ Suero, this is our very first backyard business in our backyard, By the way, it's about 93 degrees, would you say, today?
Something
Got
like
little
that.
fans going
Feels
be
warm.
around us. But so, hey, there you go. Really, session 1. Stay tuned for more Backyard Business. Have a great day, everybody.